Today, I'm going to be attempting to clear every classic Sonic stage in Sonic Generations with modern Sonic. And previously on the channel, we attempted to clear every modern Sonic stage with classic Sonic, and you guys absolutely blew it out of the park in terms of my expectations with views and likes, and also gaining a bunch of subscribers on that video. Thank you guys so much for the support on that video. And if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to leave it down below in the description below so you can check that out either after this video or before the video. And there's two modders I'd like to thank for having their mods featured in this video. The first is going to be Dario FF for creating classic Sonic Adventures, which allows modern Sonic to go inside of the classic stages. And I would also like to thank Taku, which created the Yuikawa Sonic that we are using in this video as a character mod. But with introductions out of the way, let's see how many classic Sonic stages we can clear with modern Sonic. Alright, so here we are jumping into Act 1 of Green Hill here. So, in my opinion, I feel like this isn't going to be nearly as hard of a challenge, but I might actually surprise myself just because it's been so long since I've played actual classic Sonic stages. So I will say that there might be some things that I kind of, unexpectedly, make this challenge a lot harder than it actually is. But as you can see here, we're using the Yuikawa Sonic like I was saying earlier on in the video here. So you can kind of look that he kind of almost looks like a cartoon or like a manga in a way. He's basically inspired off of the Yuikawa design. I forget what his first name is, but Yuikawa basically created the Sonic Adventure opening that you see at the beginning of Sonic Adventure, where he's basically showing off perfect chaos and he's running in a field. I'll maybe pop up a picture on the screen to show you guys what that looks like. But basically with that is he basically inspired it off of that, but he also went ahead and gave us an option to add soap shoes. And if you guys know me by now, I love me some soap shoes, so I went ahead and added those to this little model right here. So we were able to, run through with the cool looking soap shoes as well. But honestly, a super impressive character mod, and honestly something I didn't expect to see in Generations. I know that we have a very similar mod that is in Frontiers that is based off the Yuikawa mod. It might even be created by Taku as well. But there you go. The Green Hill Act 1 is a super fast and easy, paced stage there. We actually didn't run into any issues at all, with using modern Sonic here. So we'll be moving on to Chemical Plant, and Green Hill is possible. Alright, moving on to Chemical Plant here. Another thing I also wanted to mention just within this is there was a lot of people in the comments of the last one saying that I probably could have made it a lot harder if I, unequipped some of the skills like the homing attack for Classic Sonic. So to maybe even try to make it just a little bit more of a challenge, I went ahead and unequipped every single skill for Modern Sonic here. Where I know Modern Sonic, kind of his skills just overall either make his boost longer, give him infinite boost, or just simply just make him faster. Just to make sure, I'm not, making it a little easy on myself and just trying to make this a little bit harder. I'm going to go ahead and just turn off all the skills for this. And like I was saying, I feel like this isn't going to be nearly as hard of a challenge, but it's hard to say, there's a few people that wanted me to try this out. So, who am I to deny what the people want? But also, I also really wanted to see if it was something that is actually possible. And the biggest thing that I'm actually kind of curious about is not necessarily if it's possible, because I feel like it will be, but it's more of a thing I want to see, how challenging it actually is within this. So, but here we are in the end of the stage, and just like that, Chemical Plant is also possible with Modern Sonic. So again, two super simple stages right there. We actually, got super good times on those. So I know Sky Sanctuary is going to be a little bit longer of a stage, so hopefully that is a little bit more challenging. Here we are in Sky Sanctuary, arguably actually my favorite Classic Sonic stage. I think this and Speed Highway are kind of like a close tie for me. But honestly, I love both of them for Classic Sonic. And if I ever really do go back and play Classic Sonic every once in a while, those are kind of the two stages that I pick. A really big thing in this as well is, yes, Classic Sonic does get the homing attack after you beat the game, where he's able to learn it from Modern Sonic as a skill that you can use. So that is another thing that, Modern Sonic has that Classic Sonic typically would not have, when your first playthrough of the game, without beating the game, he does not have that feature at all. The really big thing with this is there is a lot of different things when it comes to these stages. Obviously, it's all completely 2D, but there is some different mechanics that this have. So I'm interested to kind of see how different, things might actually attempt of being. But yeah, so far in the classic era, it actually has not been too big of a challenge right there, and it actually doesn't look like we can get invincibility. And oh, can we actually use this as Modern Sonic? Okay, we can. I'm surprised. I was kind of expecting him just to kind of run in place for a second, or my game just to honestly crash because it couldn't handle it. But it looks like he is able to actually use those, which is super good and super nice, so it absolutely helps us, clear the stage as well. I think maybe the biggest stage that I'm honestly really worried about is probably going to be Planet Wisp. I know I said that also in the classic Sonic video, but thinking about it now, because I know that the Wisps change when you use these, instead of having the Spike Wisp, and that will actually end up having the Rocket Wisp that modern Sonic uses in his stage. So it'll be really interesting to see, you know, how that'll work, or if it's even, you know, really possible with, you know, Sonic here. And is he able to run on this? He can. Perfect. It almost kind of looks like he's gonna go running off of it, which is kind of scary, but you know, who are we to complain, you know? So Sky Sanctuary is also possible, making all of the classic era stages actually possible as modern Sonic himself. Here we go, an awesome back-to-back stages for Classic Sonic here. Speed Highway is such a thrill to run through with Classic Sonic, and honestly, whenever I replay, you know, the actual story to Generations, this is definitely a stage that I look forward to with modern and Classic Sonic, so I'm super excited to, you know, see how modern Sonic plays through this as well. But as you noticed there, I did go ahead and skip to the Dreamcast era there. I didn't go ahead and do any of the boss fights. So within this mod, you actually cannot do any of the, you know, classic rival or boss fights, which would be Metal Sonic and the Death Egg Robot. Just because I think that somehow the mechanics or the mod isn't able to handle that. It might be something in the future, and if it ever is something in the future, it's definitely something I'd be willing to attempt. But just for this stage only, similar to the classic Sonic video, if you've seen that one, we go ahead and basically just run through these stages, which, as of so far, we haven't had any issue, you know, running through the stage with modern Sonic. He's honestly just been breezing through these stages, but it's hard to say. I guess the biggest challenge I really feel like is just going to be that Planet Wisp stage, but other than that, I'm not too sure what's going to be really challenging. And there isn't really a whole lot of like animation things I'm really worried about either, just because, you know, we had some issues with the previous video where, you know, we tried to grab the helicopter, or I believe it was like a jet rocket, and then I think grabbing onto some of the handles kind of, you know, made the game almost like not do what it was intended to do, as honestly the whole video and this video is something you're not supposed to be doing. But the thing with that video is there were certain points in these stages that Classic Sonic didn't have animations, or he would overall just go way too high or way too short in certain areas of the stage where he wasn't able to grab certain things, so it made the stages a lot harder. You had to be really creative with how you would actually get through the stage. But there we go, Speed Highway and the first Dreamcast stage is possible. So now we're going to move on to a fan favorite in City Escape. Alright, so here we are in City Escape. Again, another really good classic Sonic stage, which is super fun. And it was kind of interesting actually seeing him grind on the rail there. I don't know why I was expecting classic Sonic's animation where he just turns into a ball on the rail. But there we go. You know, still very similar to, you know, what we see in the actual modern side of the stage. I don't think there's going to be anything in this, you know, stage that's going to stop me. I could be wrong. I feel like every time I say that, I am dead wrong. But even with, like, the truck and everything chasing this, like, modern Sonic is just too fast for him. Like, I am blazing by him. Like, where is he? Like, he is nowhere to be found. Like, you gotta be faster than that 18-wheeler. Come on. This is modern Sonic you're dealing with. You want to catch this hedgehog, you're gonna have to be faster than that. You're too slow, as Brawl Sonic would say.
You're too slow.
But that's another thing, you know, with, you know, having the boost and everything like that within here. And, ooh, can we grab the... Wait! You can turn into the skateboard. That's sick. What? I did not expect this. Oh, that is so cool. Hold on. I did not expect him to get the skateboard from the modern stages here. Oh, that makes me so freaking happy. What? That is such an unexpected thing. I did not expect them to be able to bring over. What the heck? Oh, no. I might need to get off. Sonic, get off. Get off of this. No! All right, and there we go. We actually ended up getting the, you know, cool skateboard animation right there. But this time around, I ended up trying to skip it there just because it didn't seem like he wanted to get off of it last time. So I was more careful this time. And, you freaking 18-wheeler. All right, that's karma for saying you're too slow. All right, I get it. I get it. But I went ahead and skipped it this time around just because it seemed like he didn't really want to get off of it. So just for the fact of, you know, being able to clear the stage, we're going to go ahead and skip it here. And we actually got the speed up shoes. And oh my god, he is so fast with the speed up shoes right there. Oh my goodness. He actually ends up being so fast. I wish we could actually kind of use that in some of the modern stages just to see how crazy fast Sonic could actually end up going with the actual speed up. But there we go. City escape is possible as long as you avoid that stupid skateboard, even though it's actually really cool to see. But if you avoid the skateboard, it should be easily possible for you. So now we are on to Seaside Hill. All right, and Seaside Hill, here we go. And Sonic, can you get out of the water? There we go. Okay, weird. I guess he's kind of in the water. He kind of has a shorter jump right there that we're kind of seeing. But one thing I will say with this is since a lot of the stage is underwater, we might actually run into some issues within this stage just because of the fact that, like we were seeing there, some of his jumps are kind of weird underwater, and also just it kind of seems like modern Sonic isn't truly meant to go underwater as much as classic Sonic is. So we'll definitely have to be careful in certain sections here just to make sure we're not getting crushed like that, and also just making sure we're able to clear the stage, you know, without drowning or anything like that. And oh, my game actually crashed, so I think we actually have to avoid those fans because he might not have an animation for that, so I'll try to get around that. All right, so I ended up going on the top pathway here and boosting up here just to see if I'm able to get into a better section here where we're not getting blown by those fans, just to make sure, you know, that we do not crash our game again like we did there. So hopefully we don't have any more of those sections up here from what I remember, but I guess we shall see if, you know, we're able to actually do this without crashing the game. And don't blast me, please. Yeah, honestly, this model, I'm super impressed with the way that Taku was able to design this. It looks super nice, and overall just a really cool looking mod. And I'm glad that he was able to, you know, add some different customization options with him. So before you actually load the mod, you have a choice of going into the settings of the mod, and you can choose between, I think, the Dreamcast with the crystal ring, with the Adventure Sonic, or you have Chip's bracelet you can choose from. You have the soap shoes as regular shoes, and I think that's it from what I remember. And he also does have a super form that I'm not going to show off in this video at all, just because, you know, we are doing a challenge within this. But if you definitely want to, you know, try this mod out from Taku, be sure to go ahead and download it, as it is an amazing mod. And I also believe that he has made one, like I was saying earlier, for Frontiers. So if you want to, you know, play that instead. And oh no, there's a fan right there, I forgot. Okay, so I'm going to try some different pathways here to make sure I'm not getting into that fan section here. So I'm seeing if this is any better of a direction to go with modern Sonic here, just to make sure I'm not running into that. But I'm also kind of, you know, making sure I don't run into certain sections, so I'm a lot more careful with what I'm actually doing here. So I'm running the stage a little bit slower just because I'm trying not to make my game crash again, to make sure, you know, we're able to get through the end of the stage. And I think we were kind of past that fan section, if I remember correctly, so I think we should be getting towards the end to be able to actually clear this. And yes, okay, we are past it, so we're on to the final section here. Let's make sure we don't go underwater or anything like that, or touch any, you know, freaking fans that are gonna crash my game here. And I think we actually might be able to actually complete the stage, which is actually kind of surprising after being absolutely destroyed by those freaking fans, you know, that were gonna destroy my game, I guess. But there we go, we actually got able to clear it. So you're able to clear Seaside Hill as long as you take some of the upper sections and kind of, you know, slow down certain areas so you're not hitting those fans to crash the game. So it is actually possible, you know, some, you know, stage hazards, you know, with crashing the game, but we were able to get it done. And now we are in the modern era here for us, where we are moving on to Crisis City from 06 here. So this might be a little bit harder just because I know that this is one of the harder actual, like, classic Sonic stages. So I just got to be careful with certain areas. I don't think there's any fans that are going to crash anything, but I think that we should be able to get through this stage. I just got to be careful towards the end where you're kind of, you know, doing a little bit more platforming, as, you know, platforming is a little bit more classic Sonic's things than modern Sonic. Modern Sonic is more of you get through the stage as fast as possible to go insanely fast, but we'll try to do our best to make sure we are clearing the stage in a decent amount of time. It's kind of cool to see some of the sections here where, you know, classic Sonic does go typically pretty fast when it comes to his side of the stage. But it's kind of cool to, you know, boost through some of those parts where classic Sonic is going fast, just to see how fast we can actually blow through everything. And whoa, hey! I actually could go on that fan. I accidentally jumped on that. I was going to avoid it, but I guess you can go up. You just can't go sideways underwater. All right. That works for me, I guess. So maybe we will be good when it comes to fans from here on out, as long as they're not underwater or anything, which I don't think Rooftop Run, Crisis City, or Planet Wisp have any underwater sections in classic Sonic side, so that is a good thing here. And all right, here is the kind of the section that I was a little bit worried about, where it's a little bit more platforming, as Classic Sonic in the air is a lot faster than, or I'm sorry, Modern Sonic is a lot faster than Classic Sonic in the air, so I have to be really careful in certain sections. And also with the wind blowing me here, it's going to be a little harder to get through some of these sections here, so I got to be careful. And we're going to jump right through that freaking flame tornado. All right. I guess Classic or Modern Sonic is just immune to, you know, freaking flames, I guess. Jeez, the flames of disaster is out to get me once again. And here we are coming up to the end of the stage. I just gotta be really careful with this overall wind that's blowing me. I should be able to boost in. Perfect. Classic Crisis City is possible with Modern Sonic. It actually wasn't too bad as I thought it would be. I thought this would be a little bit harder of a stage for us, but we actually cleared it in a decent time of 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and we're on to the Rooftop Run, which is the second to last stage, so 2 more stages to go. So the biggest thing I'm worried about this stage is I have a feeling I might not be able to complete it just for the fact of simply not having an animation to actually do it. So if you've played the stage before in Generations with the Classic Sonic, you eventually get to the big clock tower at the end of the stage, and you were supposed to spin dash to overall like break the clock tower so you can move on to the end of the stage. It's at the very end of it, but I have a feeling once I kind of, you know, go to spin dash or anything like that, he's not going to have an animation to do that. So I guess we shall see what will happen with that. I have a feeling I'm just going to sit in there and never going to be able to break the tower, or it's simply just going to be a thing and freaking blades. I think it's going to be a thing where it's just going to end up crashing my game because he doesn't have the right animation to sit in there like that. So I guess we shall see once we get there, but I have a feeling it's going to be a big problem once I do. I think for the rest of the stage and everything like that, I think we should be able to do pretty decently easy. It is a little bit more of a platforming type stage, kind of similar to Crisis City in that sense, but I feel like that this is not a bad stage to clear whatsoever in my personal opinion. I can't go the upper section there. My jump's too short, which I think is actually kind of, I believe that Classic Sonic's jump is actually higher than Modern Sonic's, so some sections is a little bit harder to get to with him, which I'm actually kind of surprised by that, but I'm hoping that there might be a way around the clock tower right here once we get up here. Because there was definitely a lot of things with like Classic Sonic where we had to, you know, go around certain things or just, you know, maneuver in a different direction in a way. So I'm hoping that there is going to be something that where I can either skip this or like glitch out of it. I don't know. And wow, these lasers are so loud. Please don't hit me. Okay, there we go. Oh, I gotta slide under this. Hold on, let me gain some speed. Perfect. Thank gosh he has the slide so he's able to fit in those certain sections. Because he definitely would be screwed in some of these stages, like Chemical Plant and stuff like that, not being able to go under that stuff. And here we're getting really close to the end of the stage here, so we should be able to... Oh, no, this is not going to be good. As long as I don't grab those handlebars, I think I'll be fine. I just have to land in the middle, which might actually tend to be a little bit harder than I think here. So let's see what we can actually do here. So if I hit here and then drop down and then hold X. Oh, okay. It's actually happening. It's happening. Okay. Okay. This is so far so good. So far so freaking good. Okay. I am actually so surprised that the game didn't crash, and I thought this was going to be the end of the run, to be honest with you guys. But here we go. We actually are able to do it. Wow. I am in genuine shock. I'm in genuine shock because I honestly have went back 3 times trying to attempt to get in the middle there and hit the handlebar every time. But once I'm actually able to get in the middle of the actual clock tower, you 100% can clear the stage. You just have to be extremely careful again. But with that being said, Rooftop Run is actually possible, and we're on to the last stage in Planet Wisp to see if this whole challenge is actually entirely possible. All right, so here we are on the last one, which is going to be Planet Wisp. So like I was saying earlier on in the video, I have a feeling that this is going to be the hardest part of the entire game. So Spike, okay, I pressed triangle to use Spike, and now I am just moving. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Kill me, please. I can't die. What is happening right now? Okay, well, maybe we're not supposed to collect the Wisp here, so let me restart. Okay, so I was able to skip that section there, so the only problem I have now is if I run into another freaking Spike Wisp section, I don't think this is going to be possible, but Similar to Rooftop Run, I'm just gonna keep trying different sections until something works, you know? I don't know. I have a feeling once we get later on where we need the Spike Wisp, this is just gonna be one heck of a frickin' stage where it's just not possible at all, but we're gonna keep trying. We're gonna keep pushing, keep moving forward. I'm gonna try my best to clear the last stage here. I'm not even gonna pick that frickin' thing up because it scares me. But here we go. I don't know. This is going to be really interesting because of sections like this. I don't know how possible this is going to be because we can't hit this switch right here, which I believe opens the door to be able to get through the rest of the stage. So this is going to be one heck of an interesting frickin' stage. So the unfortunate discovery that I have made within Planet Wisp here is you do not get the Rocket Wisp. You get the Spike Wisp, which is actually broken when Modern Sonic tries to use it and actually ends up just making all of his animations not work, and you can't even jump anymore. But with that being said, without being able to actually transform into the Spike Wisp, you can't actually move on from this section here. And from my memory, there is many sections like this inside of Classic Sonic's Planet Wisp. So it's going to be a thing that we made it all the way to the end, just to find out that this challenge is not completely possible. And it's for the simple fact of we can't become this frickin' Spike Wisp, but all of the stages are possible except for Planet Wisp itself. I am very surprised we were able to get as far as we did, and we did, you know, some crazy things to make, you know, so like Rooftop Run work and everything like that. But unfortunately, after sitting here for quite a while, I have found zero way to make Planet Wisp work, so this is not possible. So there you have it. This challenge is actually not possible. It is not possible to clear all of the Classic Sonic stages with Modern Sonic himself, just due to the fact that Planet Wisp is not possible to be able to turn into the Spike Wisp with Modern Sonic. So it is a thing that we are not able to complete it. We're able to get 90% of the way done with it, but the final stage just did not let us continue. So if you did actually watch the last video, just a little bit of a spoiler here if you have not watched that, we are actually able to complete that, making Classic Sonic actually possible for all the Modern Sonic stages, but Modern Sonic not possible for all the Classic Sonic stages, which I thought was going to be the other way around completely. I thought Modern Sonic would completely just pass through everything, no problems at all, and Classic Sonic would run into a lot of issues, but hey, I guess that's the reason we do these challenges, to, you know, see what actually is possible and, you know, just blow out my expectations out of the water, I guess. But with all that being said, guys, if you guys want to see more challenge videos, whether it's in Generations or Sonic games, be sure to hit that like button. It shows you guys that you really like the challenge videos and also are supporting the channel when it comes to that. And also be sure to subscribe and ring that bell to be notified of when I do upload. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace!